Chuck, come on, move. Today's job is to start peeling vegetables for the dogs. So what I'm going to do, I figured out the easiest way. By the time I'm done, this pot will be freaking full. And we got turnips, we got sweet potatoes, we got carrots, squash. This one's good because it's easy to peel. And more sweet potatoes down here, and this one's kind of gone bad. So we'll see if we can salvage something out of it. And we'll, gross. Let me do this. Alright. So how I'm going to do this is, I'm going to put equal amounts, roughly, this and these three. I think I'll just throw this guy out. If that was a dog, I wouldn't want to eat it. Let me see here. Oh, that's okay. Alright, let's fix this guy up first and get rid of him. I mean, I wouldn't eat it, but... Okay, let's get rid of all this stuff first. So, what I was thinking about, what are you thinking? Was talking about us, well, meaning most of you guys that are or ladies that watch these videos, about all these rising costs, and if you're on a fixed income, what's it mean? Well, it's not very good, that's for sure. Alright, let's just get rid of this thing first. So, I'll tell you an example. I go to Costco, and that's where we normally buy most of our fuel. And I started looking at it this morning, just before I came on and make the video here, that we pay in Canada about $1.50 a liter for gasoline at Costco. Now, and the Irving and the rest of the gas stations is about $1.55, $1.56 a gal or a liter. Now I converted it over to American, based on liter to a U.S. gallon, and they pay $4.46 roughly is what they would have to pay for a liter of fuel, or for a U.S. gallon of fuel if they come up to Canada. Now, and in the United States, it's $1 less for the same amount of fuel. Now, that's a fair chunk of change. When you put 20 gallons in your tank, that's 20 extra bucks. Now, that's not the only thing that's going up. Our freaking government, and I don't want to get on a rant about those guys, have this thing for, we got to pay our fair share, called the carbon tax. This carbon tax is nothing but a tax grab, like a lot of these other things. Like here, I bought a computer last month. I'm still waiting for the delivery. But the problem is, they sold me this computer. This is Dell, by the way, so I don't expect to get screwed in the end, but you never know. They bumped the delivery date back to the end of the month. It still hasn't gone into production, and that's 1 month after I bought it. I bought it on January the 16th, and I'm still freaking waiting. And I'm quite fortunate that my old PC is still limping along, but for how long that power supply is going to last, who knows. Alright, let's do this. See if we can scrape this off of here. But being a senior, you know, you got to come up with ways of saving money, and I thought, in combination, anybody that watches these videos locally can always reply and tell me what stores got cheap products. Like, for example, if you go buy something that isn't subsidized by the government, like something like milk, how much it's going to cost you when you go to the store in other places, like other things that you buy. Beef, holy frig, man, it's like you go to Costco and you buy any kind of beef, and you want to buy a roast about that big, you're looking around 40 bucks. For something, I don't think the farmer's getting any money out of it. So we got a couple of farmers down the road here, and we bought a whole bunch of hamburger off of one. And he gave us a reasonable deal on it. But then when you go to Costco and you start looking at wanting to buy that stuff, the hamburger, it ain't cheap. Well, I got a board under here, by the way. I'm not going to be cutting into Mom's tablecloth, but this time. Alright, here in the old. Now I don't get it. These are turnips. All of a sudden, you go into the store, you look for turnips, they sell rutabagas. Rutabaga. It's the same damn thing. This smells pretty good, actually. Alright. What you doing, Bear? Right. But the government here, probably everywhere, doesn't really factor in much for their senior citizens. Old Trudeau, he said at the beginning of the pandemic, which is like 2 years ago, we're going to look after you seniors. Don't you worry about it. Well, finally in July, we got a check for about 50 bucks, I think it was. So that told me right there, he don't care one thing about senior citizens in Canada. Another thing was, he don't really care much about our vets either. But you know, he wants to look good on the world stage. So what did he do? He gave $500 million away. I seen that this morning. For somebody outside the country, and I can't remember what the hell that was. Yeah, we've got veterans, probably like the United States. Watch my hand here, I don't want to lose my fingers. Living off the streets. And living off the streets in the United States is quite a bit different than living off the streets in most of Canada. Because right now outside, it's minus 17 degrees Celsius, or 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit. That's freaking cold, man. And our Prime Minister says we don't have the money to help these poor folks out. You know, if you go and fight the government's battle, which is usually the case, you should be getting coverage for the risk of your life that you take in some foreign country and some bonehead there's blasting away at you. And when you come home, you know, they got, a lot of these guys got PTSD, and a lot of them are in a pretty good mess. They need help. You just don't abandon them. No. It just ain't right. Anyway, I didn't want this to be a rant. I was going to talk about something else. I don't remember what it was. But I never expected to be a senior citizen. And now I've got to quickly start figuring it out that I actually am. I still think I'm in my 30s and 40s. Like I could jump into the back of a half-ton truck. Well, I can't do that. Okay, let's get a bunch of these out of our bag. That's about, there, that's about the size of, where did the thing go? Lost it. Alright. Amazing how fast the prices of everything are going up. Like, I've got to get some coveralls. The other pair that I was wearing the other day, wore them one day, they ripped. And as you can see, this has got multiple patches on it all the way down to my ankles. And I've got to get some more. These coveralls in Canada are about $200 each. Plus I got to pay tax on that, so that's another $30. We pay 15% tax here. We're getting ripped off. Our government, this province is one of the poorest in the country. Yet they are self-serving, the buggers. They pay themselves first. Then they go and then they try to tell us how good things are here. We're in a friggin' mess. Now they had the big protest that's going on in Ottawa. Those guys are still there. But the government here says it's against the law to gridlock the city. So what do? They block the downtown core off, and they stop all the trucks on the highway, and they wouldn't let them come into the city unless they had a valid road to get in. I guess they're just trying to prevent another thing like they have going on in Ottawa. And it won't be long before they're going to have to use the army to get them out. And I can see that's going to be a real problem. But that's just the way it is here. Alright, so that's going good. Next. Well, being that, that's what we'll do. So this is a butternut squash. We grew them in our garden, but last summer they didn't work. They didn't grow very good at all. They were freaking like gourds. They were pretty small. So let's peel this bugger down. And where's this made? Oh, Nova Scotia. Our potatoes are all freaking getting the feelers growing on them down in the basement. So they're getting soft. And we're going to have to be, looks like the old potato patch, we're not done with it yet. One thing I don't like about being a senior is on a fixed income is, I got to work harder and harder and harder. For example, you go to the grocery store. We went and bought a chunk of cheese the other day, or I did, in Costco, and it was about that big by about that thick. So, 19 bucks. I couldn't believe it. So we need to, as seniors, come up with a way to make it easier for us to eat, and the money that we save, we can use it for buying stuff like the gasoline that I said about in the beginning. I don't know how much it costs to fill up the tank, because I usually filling it up every half tank, just so that, and the price, well, just so that I don't get hit with the 150 bucks or something like that at the pumps. I got a half a tank of gas. It cost me 76 bucks, and that's pretty good, you know. I think that we need to get the gas prices reasonable. Get rid of this freaking carbon tax thing. You know, people just want to be able to eat. They don't really care about the carbon tax. They don't. I think a lot of people don't really care about the planet either. They just want to get by. Have a few bucks left over for whatever. Alright, let's get rid of this newspaper. And that one. Righty. And we have a spare newspaper right here. Alright, let me throw that over. Be right back. Feels like I got a friggin' splinter in my heel. I'll have to try to take my socks off and look at it later. Alright, let's do this. because this is a ducky thing. There. This all gets cut up and goes in the butt. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on there, and it's no big deal. My doctor, I had a virtual call with him yesterday. He's going to try me on some different medication. Plus, I'm going to get this cream for my back. I get itchy, and I think I finally figured out why I'm getting so itchy. It's hot showers, and in our shower we've got an overhead spray that's like rain or whatever, and then there's one of those ones on those sprayers on the hose. Well, that hits me directly in the back, right between the shoulder blades, and I always get itchy there. It's one place I get itchy, and the other place I get itchy is around my ankles, and I mean maddening itchy. So what we figured out is that probably I'm taking all the oils off of my back, for example, there, and it's causing the skin to get irritated, and it irritates me to no end. So we're going to try lukewarm showers instead of a nice hot shower, which I'm going to miss, and see if that stops. Hey, come over here. Come here, bear. Come here. Want a chunk of squash? Come here. Let's see if he'll eat it. Sit. What? No. Okay. Hey, I don't want to kiss. Come on, get out of the face. Get your face out there. I don't want my ears licked either. Okay. There. By the way, we don't eat this stuff, so that's why I don't bother peeling the carrots. My wife had me peeling carrots before, but being that the carrots are nice and clean, can't be bothered. So today I'm just a rambling man. Bear! Gotta watch him, he's still a puppy. He's 1 year old and he still acts like a puppy. Hey! Come on, get out of there! There he comes. He goes into the solarium over there and buries his face in some of the plants. When he pulls his face out of there, he's always pulling up dirt, and then the dirt falls all over throughout the house. Well, man, it's cold out there. Holy frig! The other day we set the temperature high temperature, and in a couple of days we're going to get another double digits above freezing. Something like plus 10 or 11 in 2 days' time, I believe. So winter's almost over. I can't wait. I can't wait to get on the old mower and start driving around. Start getting some more wood and finish off that road in the bush. those called? We'll get this all done today. Hey, pretty good. Pot's about 3/4 full. This thing. Okay. This is the peeler, but this, watch this. This works good. I'm glad the dogs like squash, because I don't eat it. My wife don't like it either. And I know some of you do like it. More power to you. We have started eating more carrots and turnip. They're mixed. We take a small turnip and a small amount of potatoes and we mix them together and mash them together. It's pretty good. I hope this focus there. Just about got her down. What do you want? Want to go out? There. Well, that's what it looks like when it's all cleaned out. So these guys want out, eh? You want out? Nice? You want to go out? Okay. I'm going to let these guys out. Watch this. Come on, let's go. Come on, boys, let's go. Outside, come on. Get up. Get up there. Come on. Come on. Come on, don't go slow. Alright, 3 dogs going out the door all at the same time. And I continually get cut off by dogs. Now watch this. And him, he goes to the window. Always to the window. So we got to stand here and wait for him to come. Come on. Let's go. Alright, how'd you get there, Ice? Okay, so those guys are good for a minute. Yeah, that's a baby gate. When it's wet out and rainy, we close that gate to keep the dogs this way. To keep the dogs out of the rest of the house, because they're just water just pouring off of them. Bear's the worst one. He'll lay out there in the freaking rain or a blizzard. He's getting covered. He's getting buried in snow. There we go. Get the last one in. There. And get this burnt. And there. Right. And fill this up with hot water. I try to explain that to my wife how things work around here, but she don't want to figure it out. 65% of the water is heated by the geothermal. So the geothermal goes out in that big field out there. It picks up the heat from the land, from the ground, comes back into the house, and then in the wintertime, we have a compressor on the geothermal furnace thing, right? And what it does is it compresses the air up and increases the temperature of it, and it'll, with this exchanger, it blows all the hot air up the ductwork. In the summer, it goes the opposite direction. It takes the heat out of the air in the house and gets rid of it down over the hill in the field, in the where the geothermal lines are all buried. So, regardless of which way this is going, 65% of the heat is recovered by the geothermal unit. In the summer or winter, whether we're using air conditioning or not, or the heat. So, if you want to boil potatoes, instead of using the range or the stovetop, the burners, they're not burning or whatever, but the heating elements, we use the geothermal water out a hot water tank, because we're already saving that money, the 65% worth. So hot water in our house, and the highest bill you have in the house is usually heat and water. That costs the most money. So I guess by me having colder showers, or cooler showers, I'm not going to have a cold one, we can save a little bit of money. Now my wife's supposed to be back at 2 o'clock. I'll have this all done, boiled down, and mashed. And then the next job is to put it all in baggies. Make them like bricks, like make them flat within the baggie. And then we freeze them after they cool off. And one bag is good for a couple of days. So all of this gets mashed and mixed up, and it goes into the dog's bowls every morning. Now it doesn't taste the same every morning because the mixture is different over top of it. We also cut up a bunch of organ meats and stuff like that, but the price on that stuff's even going up. I usually buy like beef liver and stuff like that. Stuff that usually sits on a store in their coolers or whatever like that, because nobody really buys a lot of liver to eat. At least not up around here anyway. Not anywhere I've been. People don't eat much in the way of liver. So I can pick that stuff, the liver. The price of chicken feet went up through the roof. Where I get the chicken feet, some Asians bought it, and they raised the price of that because that's something that they eat, I guess. And there's that. If they got prairie oysters on sale, that's cow nuts. Boil them up, kidneys, anything that we can get cheap, even a cow's tongue, but then they're now expensive. And we buy ground turkey from Costco, which is about 20 bucks for 4 of these little dishes, about that big, that deep. And we boil all that up, and we dice it up small and mix it in with the mashed vegetables. So I'm done here for now. I'm just going to put the water in it and start it boiling, and try not to let it boil over, because then every time I'm going to clean up that mess too. But this is what I got for vegetables here. I'm going to show you. It's about 3/4 full, and when I'm done, there will be probably less than half. So there seems to be quite a bit of shrinkage. But anyway, thanks for coming. I won't be doing a lot of these rambling man videos outside of normally what I do. Just to let you know. So have no fear. I'm still here. And I'm looking forward to the spring so I can get outside. And I don't know how well this camera will do, But I'll stick you out the window here so you can have a peek. Maybe it'll focus through the screen. Yeah, not too bad. We seen a fox running down there the other day. He went down the right-hand side all the way across the back and disappeared into the woods. And we had deer up here till about 2 weeks ago or so, which is rare because they're usually gone the first week of January. But anyway, on that note, I'm going to go. I got lots to get done yet. Got to lug some wood into the house, and that's it. Maybe play my game until my wife comes home, and then I'll make her happy to be here. Okay? So see you guys later. Bye-bye. Take care.